WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. You know, I'm sporting my Costas gear, and they actually have new Costas shirts with the white instead of the yellow, so I got to get one of those. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to be there on the 18th. March Madness is blooming, and now that the Maryland Crab Cake Tour is back out on the road, all presented by our friends at the Maryland Lottery, we're going to let ourselves play. Mama's on the half shell to start the party. Now, we're going to be next week at El Guapo on Thursday from 1 to 4. Got some great guests coming out. Jay Miller's coming out to hang out with us from WBAL. We're going to talk about the city and talk about her life, probably Penn State and all that stuff. Then we're at Fadley's on the 23rd as well. That's a Wednesday morning. But come on by Costas. I got great guests, some great friends of mine coming by. It's a March Madness Friday. Don't think the Terps will be playing, but someone will be playing. It'll be afternoon 2 until 5. This guy lets himself play as the director of the Maryland Lottery and Gaming. He joins us each and every week to talk about things. And certainly, man, we're getting into this March Madness. I got my corned beef and cabbage like all ready to go. Spring is sprung. I got 70-degree days. John, you know, it's starting to feel a little normal here. I mean, I know we've got issues going on in the real world and all that, but at least other than baseball, you've got winners, you've got scratch offs. I'm getting crab cakes. So
March, you're right.
I got pep in my step today.
Yeah, March is madness on a number of fronts, and yeah, we don't need to talk about baseball for a while yet. We'll put that on the back burner for another day. But in anticipation of March Madness, you know, Nestor, every year we are very, very proud that we work with a number of organizations, actually locally and around the country, in promoting and sponsoring Problem Gambling Awareness Month. It's a series of outreach efforts, and it's really for us a 24/7, 365 operation, but we do shine a light on it in March, and we're very pleased and proud to work with, on a national level, the National Council on Problem Gambling, which is a Washington, D.C. association, which really provides a lot of excellent programs. And then closer to home, we are very proud of our relationship with the University of Maryland, and specifically their Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling. And Mary Drexler, who's our program, or the program director down there, is a good friend of ours. And we work with Mary.
Get her on the show this month, then. I should do that.
Yeah. You know what?
It's a great idea.
That is a good idea. I'm glad you thought of it.
I'd like to study that more. I would just say this: in my family, alcoholism, and I'm familiar with that, right? I'm familiar with dementia because I've had that. So things that I'm not that familiar with. I've known some people that I knew they had a gambling problem. You know what I mean? Like whatever, maybe they didn't know they had a gambling problem. And I don't know where that happens or how that happens, but certainly I think we've all been attached to someone. And I think it maybe if it's a different kind of thing than maybe outward, where when you see someone who has other problems, you're like, oh, they have a problem. This is something that I would think would be very, very hidden in the basement for the people who've had it.
You know what? You've really nailed the issue, as you always do on so many of these things. I mean, that is exactly the dilemma when you're talking about gambling addictions. When you see someone who may have an alcohol addiction or a drug addiction, I mean, the outward signs can be very noticeable. You don't know when someone has
an employer, right? I mean, I employ people as a friend, as a college guy that like to go drink a little bit with friends to find out who's doing that 7 nights a week and who's not. It's very obvious, right? It really, really is in the real world from a performance standpoint, right?
Oh,
this is different.
Absolutely. And it can be just as devastating to families and friends and people connected to that person who may have that addiction. And like most addictions, when you really stand back and look at the entire population, we're talking about less than 5% of the people who have a significant problem. 95% of the people who engage in lotteries and casinos and sports wagering do so responsibly. They understand the odds of the games they're playing. They have a budget. They set a time limit.
And they have fun. Like,
and they
you know
have
what
fun.
I mean? Like, that's really what I was down at the casino last month before football. You know, like the reason people love football, I was in a sports bar. I was at Chaucer on the second floor watching that Bengals game. I was at the freaking Super Bowl on the roof. People have fun with this, right? And cashing a ticket and winning $100, or I saw the guy at Costas win $50 on our Raven scratch off too. It's fun. It's exhilarating. And that's why we play. But it's not a lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why information is critical to this. And so we do our part here at Maryland Lottery and Gaming, and certainly through our casino partners and our lottery retailer partners, to educate themselves, make sure resources are available. You know, the great thing about this, Nestor, is that all this information and resources are available at no cost. I mean, you can dial 1-800-GAMBLER, GAMBLER, and be put in touch with people at no cost who will set you up with resources to help. They have a great thing at the Maryland Center of Excellence. It's a peer support. So you're actually able to talk and connect with someone who's been in your shoes, someone who's had the addiction, who understands the problems that individual may be going through. I think those are excellent programs. And anytime that people can make themselves aware and accessible to those things can be a good thing. And we're pleased to work with that every year. And we take some of the proceeds from our casino partners and funnel that into an annual budget so that we're able to continue to provide these resources. And we work with a number of other constituencies, not just the University of Maryland's Center for Problem Gambling, but we work with a number of other clinicians and research people and people here in the state who are all integrated. Actually, about 2010, we created a group called MARG, the Maryland Alliance for Responsible Gaming. And people can go to that website if they have more information. It's mdgamblinghelp.org, MD as in the abbreviation, mdgamblinghelp.org. So there are resources out there, and it may be that someone who, as you said, is so close to it doesn't know that they have a problem. So a family member, you know, we have oftentimes heard from spouses, from children, from friends on behalf of someone else, just to get the information that they need to hopefully redirect someone to a better path.
John Martin is here. He is the director of the Maryland Lottery and Gaming. I got my my mug going at. So John, here's a story. You're not going to be here a couple weeks, man. I'm going to get Doug on, right? So Doug and I have to get together literally later today because I am reinstituting the Maryland Crab Cake Tour, right? And you got upset with me a couple months ago. I had the old, Raven scratch offs. I had a few left.
Upset is a strong word, Nestor.
No,
I don't think upset.
You were like, we got to get you some fresh ones. So I talked to Roz. I wrote my and I'm picking them up. Am I getting Betty Boop? What am I getting here? I don't know. But for me, they're all fun. But I'm wondering what's the new suit for me to be in here.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. And I'll let you and Doug kind of figure that out, and I'm sure Roz can help as well. I mean, every month we introduce new games, which is why we wanted to get off of the Ravens ticket. I mean, they
still work though, right?
Oh yeah, they'll still work.
Enough.
People can still go to their favorite lottery retailer, 4,400 of them around the state, and purchase one. But I'm
going to do bonus this month. If anybody comes out, sees me, I'm at Mama's, I'm at Fadley's, I'm at Costas, which I'm wearing the shirt. And by the way, I didn't mention, I'm at El Guapo next week. You should come to El Guapo, get some Mexican food with me. It's delicious, get a margarita. But anyway, so I've got these tickets. Come on out and let yourself play, right? It's as simple as that. That's why we do the Crab Cake Tour.
But you know what? With that playing, and we already talked about the responsibility of problem gambling, but with that playing is also the recognition whether you've won or not. And I have to relay this story with you, Nestor, because it's one of those head scratchers. I think that's where the bald spot came from. It's from scratching my head. But we have an unclaimed prize, as we call it here in the lottery business. Back in September, actually back in August of 2021, we introduced a new product extension to our Powerball lineup. It's called Double Play. And it means that for an additional $1, you can have your Powerball numbers, and they're good for a second drawing immediately after the first drawing. So 3 nights a week, Powerball is drawn. Everyone's anxious for the rolling jackpot. After that, if you bought a double play ticket, they'll pick new numbers. And if you match on those, the top prize is $10 million.
That's all.
That's nothing to sneeze at. Oh. Maryland in September, game launched in August. In September, we had the very first double play winner in the country, $10 million winner. Down in Rockville, we paid the retailer their selling commission on that.
We talked about this.
We are still waiting for that winner to come forward. You have 182 days to.
I forgot that it was 10. I thought it was 1 million, but it was 10.
$10 million prize is sitting out there unclaimed, and that individual or individuals has until March 28th to claim that prize, or it goes back into the prize vault.
Oh man!
To be distributed.
Is there a chance they don't know they have it? Really? Is that possible?
Big chance that, and that's the thing. That's again,
because $10 million you would have came out by now, right? If you knew it, made probably most of the time. I mean, come on, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, right. You would. And you start to look at some of the rationale. I mean, I could see coming down the end of 2021, maybe they wanted to set their affairs in order, start with a new tax year on 2022, and they would have been in here the first week of
But if
January.
they knew they won October 10th, found the ticket, and like, oh my God, they wouldn't be waiting till March 27th to come in there. Like,
No,
really, right?
No. So we fear that one is going to go back into the prize vault. But
how
again,
often does that happen?
Oh, something like this. Very rarely. Yeah.
When it's this much money. I got you. Okay.
This much money. Yeah. Somebody may have a $50 winner, a $100 winner, and they just, misplace the ticket or whatever. But
I would say this is one of the reasons you come on my show and we do all this and you guys yell and you draw balls on TV and all that, is to say to people, like, there's a second chance thing. It was a new thing. And maybe this person just wasn't aware, right? Maybe.
And again, that's the head scratcher part of it is you had to purposefully buy this extra add-on. So someone put the buck down to say, yeah, I want to do that. And then didn't pay attention to whether they had the winning ticket. And we were promoting it all around Rockville. It's like, lost dog posters. Yeah, we're promoting it around the store saying, hey.
Well, you want to find the person. I mean, John
absolutely.
doesn't get the $10 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you want the winner to get the $10 million.
Exactly. So people need to be responsible and understand what games they're playing and what are the odds and what are the payouts. And then, come forward when they have, in fact, a winning ticket, as a number of people have in the last week. I love the winner stories, and people can go to mdlottery.com and read great stories. Let me just share with you a couple here. I love this one in Dundalk. We've been talking about this, Nestor. What is going on in Dundalk?
Well, Costas is going on in Dundalk right now. It's some Crab Imperial. We'll be there on the 18th. So what's going on in Dundalk? My son's probably driving around having a good time. I'm in Dundalk all the time. So what do you got? We got a Dundalk winner.
So here's the story, and you can go to mdlottery.com and hear all the details. We have these fast play, instant win games. You don't need to scratch them off. You buy them, you look at the ticket, and you see if you've won. So it's without the schmutz, as we talked about before.
It's a scanning device.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So this young lady happens to purchase a ticket that has what we call our progressive jackpots attached to it. So for her investment in a $10 fast play ticket, are you sitting down, Nestor? I can't tell from here. Are you sitting down?
Yes, I am. I could stand.
She wins $201,693. 201,693 on a $10 investment.
Dundalk, baby.
Dundalk.
Come on, meet me at Costas. That's what I'm saying, man. I gave $50 away there a couple months ago. So, I mean, I'm going to have scratch offs. They might even be Betty Boop. Maybe. I don't know. Yep. I just like saying Betty Boop.
Who doesn't?
It's fun to say Betty Boop. We got some more winners. Did we have a $2 million winner this week?
We did. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to figure out where that was. Here it is. A young lady actually from Washington, D.C. And again, you can read this story on mdlottery.com. Purchased a Powerball ticket and ended up winning $2 million on a Powerball ticket. And she's a big fan. Are you familiar with the show My Lottery Dream Home?
No. Do tell. My lottery dream home is, if I win the lottery, what home am I going to buy with the $2 million I win?
You've just answered your own question.
That's a good show. I see. I just came up with that. That's just. I'm not reading from TV Guide or anything. I'm just giving you a synopsis. It is a great show.
It is an HGTV show. It's on Friday nights. Here I'm on your show playing.
I know the formula because my wife and I do watch so you want to move to Tahiti and we're going to get you a house in the Keys, or you're going to sell it all off in Minnesota. And right. Exactly.
Apparently this woman is a big fan of the show. Now, whether she reaches out to them or not, but that's what the show's about. People like this who win. And it's not people who win the $100 million, which I originally thought it was. Oh, we're going to see people buying, I need a home with 7 swimming pools. No, it's people who win $1 million, a couple $1 million. And they have very modest expectations. I want to buy, whether I stay in my community or I want to move to another state, their needs are not extravagant, but it's just great to see, again, people with life-changing amounts of money, as this young lady from DC. And I hope she pursues that dream, whether she gets on the show or not. I hope she pursues that dream.
Well, John, I'll say this to you in honor of the late, great Buddy Rugo, who you have a winner's room named for there. Buddy used to come over in the 90s, and sit in my studio, bring some of the gals from the lottery, and we talk and do carnival games and have fun and all that. And it would always be when the Powerball was 80 million, which sounded like a lot of money then. It wasn't like 600 million. It was like 80 million. What would I do with 80 million? What would I do with 12 million? Right. And what I learned is through all of this, and I'm going back into probably 1998, 99, if I have pictures of all this stuff. And at every point, if you ask me next month, it probably would change. This month it'd be a red Corvette. Next month it'd be a big boat. The following month it'd be an oligarch yacht. I don't know that there's any one thing that over the course of years, I'd say I would definitely do that. That's the brass ring. But I think people's dreams change as life changes, right? I see all my friends now with their grandkids, and there's nothing else they want to do but hang with their grandkids. So
sure. And
they thought they wanted a boat when they were 40, though.
And it changes in an instant. As another winner who walked into a Wise Market store in Charles County.
All right. I've probably been in that one. I know I've been in that one, actually.
Walks into a Wise Market store, buys a Power Tens instant scratch-off ticket, $100,000 winner. It's just that easy.
All right. Well,
actually,
scratch and play. Yeah, it's not that easy. Come on out and see me at the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. John Martin's here from the Maryland Lottery. Again, hey, casino side, boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got, basketball tournaments, and then we have the basketball tournament in 2 weeks. Probably won't be having any opening day action, but that's another story altogether. But the basketball thing coming to life here, and I think the St. Patrick's Day thing playing into that now with what we're doing in 5 different places here, and probably this time next year there might be 15, right? This time, like legitimately, this time next year.
We hope so. And just to give you a quick update on that, thanks for the lead in there. Right after Super Bowl, March Madness is a close second. In terms of sporting events that are sports wagering centric and people focused on. So last week, we at the Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency qualified another sports wagering entity. It's Bingo World, which is the largest bingo facility in the state, and their partner, Rush Street Interactive, which is a major national player. They have been now qualified by Maryland Lottery and Gaming. They've now been moved over to the SWARC to be awarded a license. And then we'll go back to them to actually do the due diligence and the dress rehearsal to get them up and running. So we're hopeful to get Bingo World into the game. May not be until May, but we're also looking to move forward 3 of the off-track betting locations that have been awarded for some time. That would be Long Shots in Frederick, Riverboat on the Potomac down there, actually at on the beach on Virginia, but
is that in Charles County? I'm trying to think now. Like I'm thinking of those St. Mary's.
No,
St. Mary.
I
had to learn all that last summer. My geography as I drove around.
Yeah, it's technically they are on the Virginia. So the front door of their property is Virginia. So their business address is Virginia. But the minute you walk into their establishment and you're on the waters of the Potomac, that's the Maryland line. So it's really a weird place. I remember we used to have this back in Ohio.
Get a better crab cake on that side.
All right. I mean, back in Ohio, and every state who has that, we used to have a place called, I think it was called State Line Pharmacy or State Line, whatever. And literally it was on the Ohio-Pennsylvania line. This was back in the day when Ohio sold Mega Millions and Pennsylvania sold Powerball, and they didn't cross over, which they did in 2010. So back in the day, there was literally a line in the aisle and 2 separate terminals at the counter. And if you wanted a Powerball line, you stood on the side in Pennsylvania and you went that way. If you wanted Mega Millions, you took literally a step over and you went in that line to get the Ohio lottery ticket.
Yeah, I've seen some of this. Crazy. Like Fonzie once drew the tape between Potsy and Ralph Mouth in their apartment. But I have been in Wisconsin crossing the border where there's a bar that's half green and gold and half Vikings, purple the other side, like that's a border thing. And I would think that, somewhere in Columbus, there's half a Bengals bar and half a Browns bar, I guess. And places like Youngstown and Erie, they don't know what Johnstown, they don't know what they're doing up there.
Yeah. So that would be interesting. So look for Bingo World coming up in the spring.
By the way, never been to Bingo World. I've been by Bingo World a million times. I've been invited to Bingo World. The Bingo World truck lady tried to throw me in at Icy Delights over on Wise Avenue and take me down to Bingo World. And my wife's like, Let's go. Let's go to Bingo World. So now there's another reason to go to Bingo World. So there.
There will be in May. Yes, absolutely. So Bingo World's coming on board. Long Shots is still working their remodeling.
And Greenmount Station. No?
And Greenmount.
Right.
I forgot
Right.
Chris. Yeah. So Greenmount. So we have 3 off-track betting locations and a bingo hall coming up in the spring. They unfortunately will all miss the madness coming up here in a couple of weeks. But yes, people who want to participate can go to the 5 casinos. And I'm sure they'll be happy to make a responsible wager at those facilities.
John, you know, people come up to you all the time and they're like, what's the best crab cake? Really? Now tell me the best one. So I'll tell you this. Have you ever been to Greenmount Station?
I've not.
Okay.
I will admit
so
that.
Whenever it happens that you get there for whatever, it's in Hampstead. It's beautiful. It's lovely up there. Go in the spring. You know, when to go to Hampstead at Christmas, man. Hampstead's like a Christmas garden. Like the whole place it's beautiful. But
Nice.
Nonetheless, Greenmount Station, I had his crab balls at a charity event we were doing for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So this is oh my god, 15 years ago. It was before my wife had cancer. It was a long time ago. And I put the apron on and they invited my wife and I as celebrity chefs to make a meal for the event. It was at the Ravens facility and we did it for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I made my Dundalk Venezuelan pork nachos. Unbelievable, delicious. They were a hit. But I met Chris there with the crab balls. So I've been going up there for years. His crab cakes are as good as any. That's all I'm going to say. So like, if you want to have a great crab cake, go see Chris.
There you
Fair
go.
enough.
There you go. I will put that on my bucket list.
All right. Well, you and I'll go to Bingo World at some point. I hope to get you down to one of the crab cake tour, and I will find out from Doug what are my options now. Betty Boop, Gold. What scratch offs could I have right now?
Betty Boop would be a nice thing to slide in there. It's a $2 ticket. Top price would be $10,000. So yeah, I would maybe suggest to Doug that might do it. And but there's anyone is a great opportunity to.
There's gold in them hills. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's all good. I'm going to be letting myself play whatever we're scratching. And I even watched Todd Crandall at Costa. You don't have to scratch. You can just scan if you want to on a scratch off game. It's always fun to spend some time with John Martin. And obviously this month, as we began the conversation, play responsibly, everybody. Right? I mean, we've got March Madness here. No baseball season yet. Although I do think they'll play eventually, come to their senses. John, I will look forward to having a crab cake with you later on in the month. And I know you're busy making things happen. And the SWARC is happening, and we're opening things, and we're scratching off things, and playing responsibly. I appreciate the time as always.
Thank you, Nestor. And we look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Next time I'm on, I'll have the white Costas shirt for you. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570. We are doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by the Maryland Lottery. Mama's on the Half Shell starts the party, and then we're going to be at El Guapo on Thursday, this Thursday from 1 until 4. Stop by Catonsville, say hello, get a margarita with us. And then we're going to be at Costas on the 18th, watching March Madness on Friday the 18th from 2 until 5. And then we're doing a special morning edition on the 23rd at Fadley's at Lexington Market. Not the new Lexington Market, the old market, but the new market. There's a rumor that I'm going to get a little hard hat tour on that. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore positive.